We'll call this work session Monday, July 15th to order. Invocation given by Harper Dovers and pledge allegiance by Joa Dovers.
Dear God, thank you for bringing us together today. Please guide our leaders in wisdom and kindness as they make decisions for our city. Help us all to work together for a better community. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. First thing on the agenda tonight is discuss the rezoning request for the Stonebridge area. Mr. Knoll.
I'm David Knoll, JN Investments, and we are proposing to change the zoning of the Stonebridge from the current R1 to R3 as you have it now. During the planning and zoning meeting, there was quite a bit of discussion about the R3 zoning allowing for duplexes. And we tried to make it clear that we have zero desire in duplexes for that. So I know that there's an R6 zoning that is being proposed, and should that zoning pass and make that change, we would be more than happy to go with an R6 zone, from what we understand that the zoning is going to have. But we're looking at the possibilities of up to around 150 homes should all the land work out. With engineering and things, that could change based on the topography and drainage and things like that. But with the acres that we have, we have the capability to do that. There was some discussion about the development to the, I guess, to the east of this property. And we're prepared to do a natural area or some kind between those two zonings so that we do have some type of a buffer between the RG or what we would call the RG, the R3 or R6 zoning, and the R1 zone that's currently there.
All right. Anyone have any questions or?
I have one.
Okay.
Just so, you're talking about the buffer zone, so will what you're proposing, would it be backyard to backyard, or front yard to front yard, or?
It would be backyard to backyard, from the new zoning to the existing zoning would be a natural buffer between those.
Like a tree line or something like that.
Tree line or some kind of vegetative buffer that would, you can go with fencing, but you always have that issue of maintenance and upkeep, and, if they don't maintain those, then years down the road, you have a partial fence. So if we go with some kind of a natural vegetation buffer, be it some kind of green space, then, typically it tends to last.
So how big would that green space be?
We've got access to where we're gonna have, depending on what engineering requires, we know that there's a drainage issue there that we're gonna have to accommodate or facilitate. And the way we've got preliminary drawings right now, we will be catching some of the water on that line. So, if we have to allow 20 to 30 feet for buffer and any kind of drainage, we've got plenty of room.
Okay.
So when you're talking about drainage, you have retention ponds also, maybe?
Yeah, we'll definitely, I say that, I'm sure the city engineer will probably require us to retain some of that, some of the water, so more than likely. And we've got, just as a preliminary, we've got some retention scoped out for the project.
And why the change from, as it is now, R1 to the R6 if it passes?
As you are probably well aware of, the market in new construction has changed considerably over the years. You know, we, as probably most of us, have always entertained that idea of having a 100-foot wide lot with a nice big yard and you know, and the amenities of such. Today's market, you just don't see that type of development anymore. I.e., you know, most all the developments in any of your neighboring areas are going to be some type of an R3 or RG zoning. With the cost associated with construction now, as everybody's aware of, you know, not necessarily the interest rates, but just the cost of construction now, the cost of land, the cost of putting the roads and infrastructure in, and the cost of the vertical construction. You know, obviously, density lowers that overall property cost, and you know, so as an economic, as the economics of it would say, you know, you can build more, you can make more affordable housing with smaller lots and more density.
It's my understanding that people rather have the smaller lots now because it's easier to take care of and cheaper because of the initial land cost.
As a developer, I can say the last 100-foot wide lot that we put in, that we put on the ground, was probably 2010, 2011. And, you know, it's so hard, you know, just the sheer numbers of what people can put on the ground. You know, your builders that are coming in, you know, they're looking for something that they can be in the market to where you can generate the market for, you know, for sellability and for resellability. You know, your 100-foot lots, you're probably looking at the price point, you know, cost of the lot cost and everything, and the percentage of lot cost to vertical construction, you know, you're gonna be up in the 400+ range.
Right.
Pretty easy.
Right. So thus it becomes unaffordable housing. Okay.
Almost, you know,
Yeah.
there's always gonna be that niche.
Sure.
People want a custom home on a large lot, but, you know, the economic growth that you see nationwide is not that lot.
Okay.
A lot of it is a smaller lot, you know, with the affordability that each geographic area will attain. You know, a house in Scottsboro may not sell on a 60-foot lot for the same amount it does in Huntsville or in the Chattanooga market, but it's gonna sell for less than one would on a 100-foot lot.
Understand. On another subject, if I may,
Go ahead.
water runoff and drainage, I know you're gonna have catch ponds and stuff like that. Got a lot of neighbors concerned about, even if there is a buffer, their lots are already low, and then a lot of that water will come over onto their lot and have even a worse problem that they're currently having. Are the engineers gonna make sure that the existing homes are not affected more than they already are now?
I can say without a doubt, first of all, the city, I'm not placing blame on anybody, but the city has a city engineer who's gonna oversee that. You know, so he's gonna make sure that we do this right. I've walked the property, I'm not an engineer, I've done a substantial amount of development, but you have 2 points of egress off the property where you have drainage going on. I'm not familiar with the name of the streets, but on what would be the southeast corner, you've got drainage going off toward the east of the river.
Right.
And then about midway down on the west side, you've got drainage. That's the main drainage that's going off of all the property. It's coming across Highway 72, kind of filtering its way down through the community, down through there, and then it's coming across our property and going to the west down on the main road with Whataburger and all that.
Right.
So, you know, we're aware of where the main drainage is now. And a lot of the drainage issue appears to us, here again, we've not gotten far enough to start a full set of engineer drawings with geotechnical work and stuff in there. But just the structures that are there now that were done years ago when, you know, there were ditches cut in. If you walk that property and saw, those ditches have been, you know, they've not been maintained, so therefore they're not flowing to capacity. Just that one thing there may facilitate a lot of the issues that you got. But we do know this, we know that it is a lower area than, you know, I mean, obviously if we were 5 feet higher and the drainage would go a lot faster, that would be great. We know this, that we have got to try to work with the water that's coming on our property, because we can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got to be responsible for how that water goes off of our property. We can't control how that gets to us, we've got to control how we get rid of it. And you know, we're quite aware that we may lose lots. You know, we may have to put larger.
I think you may.
lose lots, but
I've lived there, well, I live on Byron Road,
Okay.
so it's the frontage road. One of the first houses there, been there 35 years. And then all these houses started coming up on Cimarron and all that, so people were building behind me. And that leads me to my other question. During this construction, usually, normally, the wind tends to come from the west and blow towards the east, maybe southeast a little bit. So with your heavy equipment and all that stuff, you know, are these people gonna suffer the dust and stuff that comes with construction, and are there any plans to remedy that?
I'm going to say that just due to what you said and the nature of the way that the topography of the land runs, if it inherently runs, which it does, winds inherently run west to east.
Mhm.
All our weather typically comes
Sure.
west to east.
Yeah.
You know, we can't control that. The two things that you have that you can control, that I think is part of the construction process. Dust is easy to control. You know, you require water trucks to be out there when they're doing it. Is it gonna eliminate all the dust? Absolutely not.
No.
We can't, but we can control that. The only other thing that I can think of that would be somewhat of a nuisance would be burning, Rich. I'm sure that, I don't know how the county health department and fire department work together as far as no burn orders or certain burning at certain times. I know in counties that we burned in before. We had to have a fire pit that we burn in with a trench blower so that we can burn it hot enough where it doesn't produce
Smoke.
the smoke, which is, you know, incomplete combustion. That's what you get smoke from, is from incomplete combustion. If you can put a trench burner in a ditch area, it blows that air on it, it blows the fire hotter, so you get complete combustion, you eliminate a lot of the smoke.
Yeah.
You know, that's just part of the process that we have to do. We may even do quite a bit of grinding, you know. We haven't gotten far.
Mulch. Yeah, I know.
We get to those answers.
I know.
You know, we don't want to spend $100,000 on engineering and
No,
not even have zoning. So, you know, but yes, sir, there are ways in which you can facilitate those concerns that people have. Is it gonna be 100%?
No,
safe
absolutely.
And everybody's gonna be happy? Absolutely not, I can promise you that. But we can do our part to do, you know, what we need to do to try to facilitate that.
and here's a important question, I think, you know, which, you know, when it hits your pocket, it's really important. But a lot of people believe that if these smaller lots go in behind them, that it may, or may not, I don't know, but I just want to get your opinion, it may devalue the property that they have.
Especially the landowners on Cimarron.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's all I'm talking about, is the ones back to your project.
I can say without reservation on my own behalf, that I don't think you should see that.
I
That
don't-
may not appease, if there are homeowners here, you know, just me saying that's not gonna appease you to say, no, it's not going to change property. But I can say this, I can say there are many developments close to this proximity in which this same thing's happening, and you don't see it in present day. The Huntsville market, the new market, all all over.
A lot of this going on over there.
Chattanooga, it's not unusual. There are so many garden home type developments abutted to R1 developments all over the nation. I don't see it.
Yes, okay.
And I don't think anybody could bring true data that would prove that it did. I believe that new construction will almost always increase values of existing construction.
Now, and I'll be done after this one. Is there any kind of model home or what you guys intend to build, or?
Now, at the end of this email, you had some.
Yeah, we put some up just to kind of give an idea.
I see, yeah.
We're just not far enough into our process yet, but
Nice.
we're gonna be at that 300K price point, more than likely. I mean, it's just hard not to be.
300K?
It's hard not to be at 300K. I mean, would we love to build at 250? Yeah, absolutely. But,
Is there a set square foot you're gonna try to build these houses?
I think we're in the process actually right now of getting some market data to find out. What we've got to be careful to do, and most people can't go into a house and walk out and say that's a 1,500 square foot house or a 1,700 square foot house. They can't. So what people look at is price point. That's all. When you go into a neighborhood, you're not gonna say, well, this house is 1,500 square foot, so I'm gonna look at it. You're gonna go in looking at whether or not that house meets your price point. Without knowing exactly what houses are gonna cost price per square foot, it's hard to answer that because we've got to be able to identify what the market will facilitate in Scottsboro, and then come up with a plan or plans that we can build to do that. They're probably gonna be a minimum of 1,500, but I think that probably that comfort level is right around 1,700 feet. And, if we go two-story, we're probably gonna be in, pushing 2,000, 2,200 square foot range, just because it's hard to build a two-story home and be less than 2,000 square feet.
You good?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else have questions? No. Now, I know half the people here are for this, that showed up to hear this tonight. I'm going to explain how this works. This is just a presentation to the city council tonight. Yeah, go ahead. I'll put this on the agenda for next week. We will vote whether or not to have a public hearing. At the public hearing, we open the floor and everybody can speak then on this. So, and that'd be mid-August before it would even happen. So, but at next week's meeting, like I say, if it votes to go ahead with a public hearing, then we'll announce that date then. We'll also run it in the papers and things like that. So, just want to make sure I was clear on that with everybody that's here. So, no one else have any questions or anything on this?
No, and then after the public hearing, there's, you have to wait at least 15 days.
Yeah, there's a lot of laws on this.
Before it could even be brought before the council to vote on it.
And I don't have our attorney or our city clerk here to give me the exact date. So, like I say, it'd be mid-August before we have a public hearing, and it'd be 1st of September before there's ever a vote. So, just to be clear. So this will be on the agenda next week for a vote to whether or not to have a public hearing or not. Okay? Thank y'all. Appreciate it. All right, number 2 tonight. Pickleball court 7 through 12 update. Mr. Jimmo.
All right, thank you. Today I'm here to follow up to our May meeting. This presentation is a request to build 6 more courts and to tentatively award some contracts. Bids have been received for all work and a budget has been prepared for 6 additional courts. There are 3 main contracts. The first one is site works and site preparation, which is all the dirt work, concrete, and landscaping. The second one is the courts themselves, which is the asphalt, the surfacing, the nets, the fence, to finish off the courts. The third is the materials install the conduit, wiring, and lights and poles as they did on Units 1 through 6, which is a great, great asset to the project. Getting right to the bottom line on the first handout is a budget. It shows completion of the 6-4 courts is $450,000 with a 5%, which includes a 5% contingency. It is very similar, but with updated costs to what I presented in May. Looking at that first one, the site preparation is about $150,000. The courts are $180,000, and then the lights, about 2/3 of the way down, are almost $30,000. And I'll touch on those here in just a minute. The contracts that were put out, or that hadn't been put out, the bids were put out. Bids were received on 3 of them. We had 2 bidders turn in bids on the site works, and presently that contract is under review, which is a minor change on the sheet there. So we're reviewing that contract. On the courts themselves, we had 6 bidders that it was sent to. We received 2 bids, and Lauer Brothers is the lowest responsible bid at almost $80,000. And the last one, we put out a request for quotes for the electric lights, and those came in. Cape Electric is the lowest bidder at almost $30,000 for that. So the first question may be, why does it cost so much, $450,000, when we spent $400,000 on courts 1 through 6, and we have to bid? Well, there are 2 reasons. The very first item, as I mentioned, on the site preparation, almost $153,000. All of that, $125,000 of that is work that the city did with volunteers on all the site work and all the concrete work. That's a huge difference between city and volunteers contributed toward 1 through 6. All of that now is built in to this $153,000. There's no city work, no volunteer work, all the concrete will be all contracted out. So $125,000 is in that one piece. Going down to the courts themselves, $180,000. Courts 1 through 6 were about $155,000. So we've got, $25,000 more just for that. Same amount of work. It's slightly different, but it's the same amount of work. That work is planned for next year if it goes through, because we're booked up already. So you have to project a little bit ahead for inflation and stuff. So that is where the extra money is going on those are the 2 items. Everything else is about the same. Well, then the second question is why does it cost? Why are we building 6 more courts? One word: an investment. An investment in extended recreational facilities for citizens of Scottsboro and Jackson County. An investment in recreational opportunities for people looking to move into the city of Scottsboro. An investment in city recreational facilities that are important for new businesses that want to see what the recreational facilities are before they move their business into our town. An investment in our younger folks by providing them a safe place to meet and play and socialize. And it's an investment in bringing in large 2- and 3-day tournaments and corresponding benefits to the city from those tournaments. Other reasons: play on the existing courts has greatly exceeded anyone's expectation. Mine included. I don't think anybody expected it that much. And the driving force on that is the young people that us old folks, we play in the mornings when it's a little bit cooler. Some of us play at night, but the real driver on is all the younger people and all kinds of people coming out that you would never think play any kind of sport just from their age and size or whatever. They're coming out and playing. It's a unique sport that's easy to play with short games and changing parties. In addition to older players playing 4 to 5 mornings each week, I've sent periodic updates to you all over the past 6 months. Each evening, there's 40 to 60 players on the course. They are full every night. They're primarily young folks, under 30, boys, girls, men, and women, coming and playing and hanging out with friends. Families come with small children. Players are waiting, and others are going to the tennis courts to play pickleball. A lot of the evenings, 2 to 4 the tennis courts have people playing pickleball on them. Let me address maintenance of the facility. Mr. Dahl expressed reservations about the facility maintenance when courts 1 through 6 were voted on. Well, let me tell you some good news of what's happening on these courts. The players, young and older, have taken responsibility and ownership in helping to keep clean the facility and operating smoothly. In conjunction with Donnie Woods and his staff, who are working very effectively with the routine cleaning, if small items coming up that need attention, they're being taken care of. 2 examples are the zip ties that break on the windscreens. If they get broken, we have volunteers come in and take care of them, fix them up. We have some umbrellas that have been damaged by the wind, that blow off and rip up a little bit. The volunteer has taken those and sewed them up and fixed them up. So people, and not just the older folks, the younger folks are keeping it clean too, are taking responsibility to keep the investment. Let me summarize. 12 courts will be full almost every evening. Participation will increase as more courts become available and players don't have to wait. The cost for new courts will never be less expensive than what it is now. Keeping all the courts at one location allows for the most flexibility as courts become available for waiting players and provides by far the safest environment. It is the best facility in North Alabama. This is not gold-plated. It's because of the layout and spaces for playing and watching and gathering with friends. It's ideal for large tournaments with expansive sitting areas, gathering areas, and plenty of parking. And finally, just as the council approval for the first 6 courts was a vision into somewhat uncharted territory for this new sport, an additional 6 courts will only amplify the opportunities for recreation, income from tournaments, new businesses, and the enjoyment for the citizens of Scottsboro and surrounding areas. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Jim?
I don't have a question, but Mr. President and Jim, right now, I think it'd be a hard time for us to make a decision on this. We're going into budget hearings next week, and these will go into the middle of August. You know, we've got requests for paving, redo the pavilion at Caldwell Park, equipment for the street and sanitation, and we're also looking at another landfill. And then I've had a group of people contact me about, let's put in the plans to have a swimming pool. So we've got a lot of things on our plate. So right now, it would be hard to go ahead and approve $450,000.
Well,
In my opinion.
we had a Bynum Park meeting today and stood and went over some different things that's happening there. And so I'd actually penciled in August 19th to put this back on the work session. Once we get those numbers, to kind of combine that together, unless one of y'all are going to hold my feet to the fire on this.
And one question, Jim, have you ever looked at maybe making the old tennis courts pickleball courts?
That was actually looked at before we built the other 6, so that came up. The area, when they have batting practices and big tournaments and stuff, I mean, that area fills up with families and associated kids running around, things of that nature. Splitting it up like that, yes, it's more courts, but it destroys the whole idea of a central place, safe place, central place for all of the courts. And long term, that would be a Band-Aid at best, but it really, I don't think it would work because of the use of the batting cage facility during baseball season.
On the tennis courts, how many courts does that modify to when you're playing pickleball on the tennis courts, the new tennis courts?
How many what now?
How many courts pickleball courts does it turn into? I mean, I know there's
It's the
different
same,
lines
right?
on there
Yeah,
for pickleball.
it's the same though, right? The 6 tennis
Yeah.
courts are still 6 pickleball courts, right?
6?
There, you don't split up a tennis court and make two, do you? Oh, you do?
You could
Okay.
you could squeeze more in on the.
Okay.
You can get 6 pickleball courts on 2 tennis courts.
Oh, okay.
But ideally, it would be 6, so you use the same nets, and then we actually had them painted off before the new court was built.
Right.
Fashion
That's what I'm talking about. So that turns into 2 courts, pickleball courts?
of 1 for 1. I mean,
Okay.
you could squeeze 2 in.
Okay.
You could squeeze 2 in, but then the spacing gets close and stuff like that. But yeah, you can. You can squeeze 2 in.
And there's restrooms and everything there already?
Okay.
And that, that really speaks to having large tournaments. If 6 more courts were built, and have 12 courts in the pavilion and stuff, then line off the other facilities there, that's 18 courts. That's major tournament stuff. And brings in with the space, with the parking, with the facilities, the city could accommodate every bit of that. The 18 courts have huge tournaments.
Mr. Bagley, can I add one thing? Last year when we had that conversation, part of the issue was the high school. That's where they have their tennis matches.
Yes.
There were no other places in town for them to have, and we converted those.
Yes. Yes. We're well aware of the high school uses tennis courts, the pool, the soccer fields. We're well aware.
And that's why we keep it 1 to 1, you keep the same nets, and it's just the lines that would be a minor inconvenience, but
Yeah.
it would work without any other modifications.
Okay. All right. Anyone else having questions for Jim on this? Just to make sure.
I don't have a question, just a comment.
Go ahead.
We appreciate all the work you've done.
Yes,
on
sir.
this.
Oh, yeah.
And the other court that you did, and how you got all that free labor. I mean, could
Well-
you squeeze that in on this one?
Well, that's another question. That's why I would like to put this on the August 19th work session. I'd like to get with the mayor and see what the city can do on this too. Like I said, there is some of the site preparation that the city could do and maybe get that number down a little bit anyways. Anything we can do, of course. All right, thank you. All right, so we'll put that on the work session August 19th. There's nothing else tonight, so we'll go to delegations. I have, and I cannot read that. Is Amy? Okay. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Aye.
I'm just gonna read something that I wrote. It's kind of a proposal for about dogs being tethered 24/7 tied up. My whole life I've seen dogs chained up. No attention, food, water. Just recently I have to watch 2 dogs
Thank you. Appreciate you coming and sharing.
I'll pass them to the rest of the council.
Thank you. There's no other delegations tonight, so we'll go to reports. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have anything tonight.
All right, thank you. Mr. Dahl?
I don't have anything, but I think this is important for us to look into.
Is that a copy of the ordinance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, it is. It's Athens, they passed one in 2018, and that's actually their law, and it kind of helps you go on the guidelines. And Huntsville has to.
Okay. Mr. Ashburn?
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
Ms. Frederick?
I don't have anything tonight.
All right, thank you.
Thank all this big crowd for coming out.
I'll remind everybody, next week we'll have a meeting on July 22nd, and then we won't, next work session won't be till August 5th, because we'll have a 5th Monday this month, and so we won't meet then. So, that being said, appreciate everyone coming out. We're adjourned.